Good morning, and welcome to our newest edition of United We Learn. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Kelker, President of Your United Way, and today we are fortunate to be joined by Jennifer Gill, Superintendent of Springfield Public School District 186, and Brad Polanen, Superintendent of Riverton School District 14, as we highlight the outstanding work these school districts have done during the COVID pandemic. During our program, please ask questions using the chat option. We will wrap up in 15 minutes, and United Way staff and our guests will stay on if there are any questions. If you're watching a recorded version and have a question, please send them to feedback@uwcil.org. In today's world, schools are much more than just schools. They are places of safety and comfort. They are where our children are fed, and they certainly are where the next generation of leaders are shaped and molded. Helping children learn, achieve, and succeed while engaging families and communities is critical as we think about our work in the area of education. And I'm excited to turn things over to Katrina Hayes, our Director of Community Impact, who will be leading our interview style of United We Learn.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, John. To get us started, as we do with these interviews, we like to get to know the people who are joining us, their organizations or programs that they represent. And to get us started, I'm going to turn it over to Brad to tell us about Riverton Community Unit School District 14.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brad Polanen. I am the superintendent of the Riverton School District. I've been superintendent for 3 years, since 2018. I've spent my entire career in Riverton since 2010, beginning as a middle school science teacher. After that, I was our elementary school assistant principal for 3 years, from 2014 to 2017. And I spent a year as middle school principal in 2017 to 18. Some things that are unique about us is one in particular, we're the smallest district by area south of I-80, only 14 and a half square miles. Within that 14 and a half square miles, we have a monastery, a golf course, 2 interstate highways, a national cemetery, and 7 mobile home parks. So we have a very dense population. 53% of our population qualifies for direct certified free lunch, and we do participate in the community eligibility provision program, which I know Springfield does as well, to provide free breakfast and free lunch to all students every single day. This year and over the last 3 years, we focused a lot of our attention on the mental health of our students, starting a Birth to 3 program designed to improve parenting techniques throughout our district, implementing the Behavior Intervention Support Teams program, or BIST, at our elementary and middle schools, partnering with Lincoln Prairie and Memorial Behavioral Health Center to provide mental health services to our students in a variety of ways. And this year we will be hosting a mental health fair in April for parents and students, designed to help them become more aware of mental health and how we can help them.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. And Brad also serves on our Education Vision Council, and so it's been so great to get to work with you. Over to you, Jennifer. What about Springfield Public Schools?
Right. Well, I'm Jennifer Gill. I'm the superintendent of schools here in Springfield in my 29th year of education and my 7th year as superintendent here in Springfield in the community that I grew up, and also enjoyed spending the last 6 years on the United Way Board of Directors as well. We have 13,200 students, 31 school sites. About 67% of our students are community eligible, as discussed by Brad, so that we are serving all of our students with free breakfast and lunch each day. We serve pre-K students 3 years old all the way through adult learners here in District 186. Throughout the pandemic, we've been able to serve 44% of our students in a hybrid model since the beginning of this first semester, and we're looking to increase that time with our hybrid students even as we progress this school year. We are really thankful for the partnership we have with our staff across the district and the families that we serve. Just last evening, I was able to spend an hour or so with our family and community engagement group, and it was always reminds me of why we do this work, is that we're serving the families and the students of District 186, and we're doing it together to make sure that we have a brighter future here in Springfield. So thank you for having me today.
And thank you for your leadership, not only on the board, but also in our community. This has been kind of what's happened year round. COVID has hit us all very, very hard. But what are some of the unique struggles that each of your districts face. So Jennifer, I'm going to turn this one over to you first.
You know, it has definitely been a different year than we've ever had before. So I kind of felt like a first-year superintendent for most of it as we navigated all of the different things that sort of came our way since last March. But we really can be best described as a dilemma. It's not a problem that's just right in front of us that there's one easy solution to, but a myriad of issues and caveats that we have to think about each and every day. And the role of the superintendent and the leadership team at the district is to really think about both sides of the issue, make sure we understand everybody's viewpoint, and somehow come up with answers and solutions in the middle that can make sure that everybody is getting that great education that we want each and every student to have. I think some of the biggest challenges around that has been the ever-changing guidance. You know, just when you think you're getting in the swing of things, something new will come out, either an increase or a spike in COVID like we saw in November that made us react and change, or now we're easing up on the mitigations and doing that mid-year. So a lot of teachers have been saying it's almost like we've had 3 mini school years, one all remote, one partial hybrid, and now moving into something that's going to look a little bit more like school. So meeting the needs of all learners during that time has been quite challenging, making sure that we check on the well-being and the health of our families, just like Brad mentioned, has been so important. Making sure we feed them each and every day and be creative about how to get meals to our families, and making sure that we have all of their needs met through technology and other things. So that's really been our biggest challenge, and I know Brad can build on that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brad, did you have anything beyond what Jennifer has already shared that has been just slightly different at Riverton, or is it all the same?
You know, all of us are different. And I would echo everything that Jennifer said. And one of the challenges that we've experienced, and I think this goes across the nation, is everybody has a different opinion on how we should operate during this pandemic. And it's very difficult for us to manage that and try to, as Jennifer mentioned, meet in the middle. Working with our various interest groups and educating them on the differences in our districts and the challenges and the unique situations that we experience is part of our job. And while as superintendents, we're not teachers any longer, we're still educating. We're not just educating students, we're educating adults as well. And so that has been a challenge. In Riverton, we have some unique challenges that aren't experienced in many of the other districts around us, and that we have a special education population of 21%. We bus more than 80% of our students, and we have very small classrooms and cafeterias in comparison to our enrollment. So those are things that we have to work around, but our job as superintendents, as Jennifer mentioned as well, is we find solutions to problems, and we're continuing to do that even as we come out of this.
So one of the things that I've been hearing, not just in talking with school district professionals in both of your districts, but also, you know, in every career, I think so many things felt like they got put on hold because of COVID-19 and then all of our adjustments to the world. So what are the things that might have been put on hold that you're most looking forward to kind of either rebuilding as we see COVID numbers decline and vaccination numbers increase? So what are those hopeful points that you think that we'll be able to see some real traction in the coming years, and how can we come alongside you to support that? So Brad, over to you first on this one.
Sure. Honestly, getting back to normal is what I'm most looking forward to, and truly just being able to see our children's faces and smiling as they are back into school, and really just for us to see how much they really enjoy school, and they've never had this appreciation for it. One thing that we're looking forward to in Riverton, something we've never had before, is an organized summer school opportunities more designed for our at-risk students. And that's something we never really had in a large capacity in my time in the district. And as I've spoken with individuals about this, one of the things that I have hit home is that if we're able to maintain this for 13 years, a kindergarten student in Riverton would be able to get an additional 39 weeks of instruction by the time they graduate from us, which equates to over a year, which we hope would make a difference in their lives. And that's what we're here to do. For the community to help us, I mean, honestly, just spreading the positivity of the things that are going well in our schools, and truly just encouraging and supporting our educators During this time, maybe more than ever, we've experienced a lot of negativity, which has an effect on all of us from the top down. And it's very challenging at times to overcome that. We do, but any type of positive communication that can be had from the community towards us as schools is always appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad. And then Jennifer, what about you? What are you most looking forward to?
Well, one of the positive levers that have come from this pandemic is we got technology into every student's hand almost overnight last spring. And we've actually been integrating that technology into student learning each and every day in new ways that we would have thought would have never been possible due to barriers that, like connectivity that we've been able to solve alongside the community, and then making sure that students and teachers have the capacity to use that technology in new and different ways. So it's been a really positive outcome, and I can't wait to see what we're able to do with that into the future. We're always going to struggle with that connectivity issue, so our community really coming together to really solve that at a city level is going to be something that we welcome. We're also extremely excited about our facilities plan. We've continued our planning and development throughout the pandemic based on the 1 cent sales tax that the community supported us in and gave us public permission to utilize towards our preferred future for our facilities. So you'll see groundbreaking happening soon, and we've still kept plugging along, haven't put any of that on hold. So we're very excited about what that's going to look like in the coming months.
Awesome. And so it's really short. We have just a little bit of time left. What is probably one thing that you think has maybe gone unrecognized and that you would really like to shed light on? So Jennifer, over to you first.
Well, just going back to that connectivity piece, we've provided 2,000 hotspots to families, and we've been able to do that through the federal CARES grant funds that we received, and we'll continue to do that to support families. But I think it's some of the unsung heroes behind the scenes, the adults and the community members that have been delivering meals to our families that maybe couldn't come out and get those at our school sites for those remote learners. The fact that we're going to continue to do that all summer long, and that we've done that on every vacation day. I don't think people realize the amount of change overnight and the amount of just organization that it took to get all of those things squared away. And I just want to give a chance to thank all of our teachers who have been extraordinarily innovative and turned on a dime a couple times for us this school year, just to make sure that their students have everything that they need. So I'm pretty proud of all of the school districts in Central Illinois and the teachers that have really done a noble job to get things feeling normal for students. Thank you.
I couldn't echo that more, but what about you, Brad? Do you have any special bright spots?
Certainly, some of the things that are going on in Springfield, they are in our district as well, with the connectivity with students and families, and of course delivering meals as well. We organized a meal delivery service at the beginning of the year, and over 1,000 students are served each week. We've served over 500,000 meals to students, delivered them to their homes since the beginning of the school year. As a micro review of things, I had a parent reach out to me recently of a special education student who started with us in pre-kindergarten, and at the time he couldn't speak. And she was very worried about him this year in regressing in his education because the less time in the classroom with his teachers and with his peers. However, because of our low class sizes and more attention on this student, he was dismissed from his IEP this winter and has made significant progress this year, which I think is one of those things that goes unnoticed. But it shows that, as Jennifer mentioned, our teachers are working very hard, and they're being very innovative in how they reach our kids, and it's very exciting to see those things even when things are as challenging as they are right now.
Yeah, and I know one of the things I'm hearing too is how can we take some of the really great successes from this year and continue to offer them, because some students have thrived, not everyone, but some for sure. And so we're excited to see that and partner with you both as we continue to move forward. So with that, I'm going to end our interview time. We'll have chats afterwards, but over to you, John.
Thank you, Katrina. And thank you, Superintendent Gill and Superintendent Polanen, for joining us today. I know I personally wrote down a number of the highlights you shared. Please know how much your communities appreciate your work. I know this is not easy. Your spending a little time with us this morning is greatly appreciated. On our next United We Learn, we are taking a deep dive into our days of action and issuing a challenge to our community to help make this spring's event the best ever. You won't want to miss it. This concludes today's program, and we'll keep the session open for a few minutes to address any questions in chat. Any questions we don't get to in the next few minutes will be saved on our website. Thank you. Have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend. And if you haven't done so already, please sign up for our statewide 21-week equity challenge.